Okay, so we're going to start out with a piece of odd scrap here. And first thing I want to do is reduce it down to a uniform width. Now, I want to do a traditional type blade, considering the Tang type I'm doing now is partial Tang. And in order to do the type of blade that I want to do, I won't be able to use little curves and things that were initially in that little piece of scrap. So, yeah, just hammer it down to a uniform width. Just so happened that the tip of that scrap had already been cut at an angle, so we'll use that to start forging our tip out. Simple, easy. Make sure we've got that width nice and uniform. Yep, pretty good. I better heat it up one more time. We'll go ahead and mark our Tang blade transition. Just hammer it in. Again, make sure our thickness is uniform. And we've got our width uniform, we've got our thickness uniform. Any taper in the blade will be hammered in the next part. And the first thing we got to do before we can start our bevels is put a curve in that blade. Those of you that have watched my previous videos understand what that's for. Now we'll start working our bevels in. And as we do, it will push the steel and expand the steel along the blade edge, which will straighten the spine out and straighten the blade. There we go. Looking good. Quick, simple video. Not a lot of explaining, not a lot of exposition. No need to on something like this. Just go back through and make sure everything's flat and level. Make sure our thickness is right. Make sure our blade's straight. Yep, that'll do. All right, here we are with part 2. And the Tang type we're going to talk about this time is a partial Tang. Now you can see the blade's probably 5 inches, 5.5 inches, but the Tang's only about 2.5. Now, you might wonder why that Tang wouldn't be just run out the full length of the handle. And the truth is, this was another material saving idea. You don't find a lot of blades this way, but back in the late 18th, early 19th centuries, there were a lot of blades like this. A great deal of the trade knives that were brought here in colonial days that went to the frontier, that were traded to the Indians, that were carried by the voyageurs, by the mountain men. A good deal of those knives were actually partial Tang. Now, the single advantage to this is, like I said, it saves material. That saves the cost because steel was very expensive. The downside is this Tang does not run all the way back full length of the handle. And that does make weaker blade construction. The one way to go about this is to use a very solid handle material, antler, hardwood, especially oak. It's very good for a partial Tang knife, and it'll last a long time. Secure it with 2 or 3 good rivets. It will last a long time. So is it a viable alternative? Absolutely. Is it historically correct? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm going to finish this blade out maybe today. I'm going to give it a traditional temper, which is a hot temper done with fire instead of the long temper that I do in the oven. And probably going to put an antler handle on it. We'll see if I get that far. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hit that like and subscribe, and we'll try the next one later.